And welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Vasil Shevchenko, former Transportation Minister of Ukraine. Vasil, you know it's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Likewise. Well, I heard a little bit of good news this week. I understood that our President Joe Biden had finally decided to issue some long-range missiles to Ukraine. I think that would help significantly in their counter-offensive attacks to Russia. Would you care to talk a little bit about it?
Yes, thank you. It's a good idea because you know that Ukraine forces have used long-range missiles from our partners from Great Britain and from France. And I'd say that Ukraine forces managed to eliminate Russia's repairing ships plant and eliminated submarine and storm troops carrier. And it thanks these long-range missiles. And you know that a couple days ago was 2 missiles was eliminated Russia's Black Sea fleet headquarters in Sevastopol. And but before, thanks this type of long-range missiles were eliminated radar systems. Which were located at the occupied Crimea Peninsula in 2 places, and they had an information, but thanks Special Operations Forces, Ukraine's Navy forces, this radar system were eliminated, and after that were eliminated Russia's warships and Russia's headquarters, because we know that they were correcting cruise missiles, and they were launching these missiles from Black Sea Fleet, Russia Federation, and to be honest, every night we have many drones attack and missiles, different type of missiles. Mostly it's missiles which are being launched from long-range bombers and from Black Sea, Russia's fleet, which is launching cruise missiles. And it's really danger, because we know that Russians are fighting not with Ukraine forces, they are fighting with Ukraine's infrastructure, and they are fighting with civilians, with children, with elderly persons, and they are fighting with Ukraine. And to answer Ukraine's fighting with Russia Federation, because now all the Ukrainians are donating for military forces, for forces of defense of Ukraine, and now thanks our partners, Ukraine's scientists managed to build new drones, maybe new type of drones which were launched and which managed to eliminate missiles, managed to eliminate Russia's long-range bombers, which are located at the distance about 700 kilometers from Ukraine's border. And it means that now war is moving to eliminating infrastructure, and you know that Russia's using all instruments as a military instruments. For example, they demonstrated that they prohibit transporting Ukraine's grain around the world through Black Sea. And this Black Sea fleet was threatening these trade routes. And after that, military forces of Ukraine established new routes, which was agreed with International Marine Organization. And now we can see that through these routes have gone 5 big ships for transporting grain from Ukraine and for transporting other goods from Ukraine, because since the summer, Ukraine has reestablished taxes we had before the war, just to have opportunity to have budget for waging war, because we have Western support, thanks United States, thanks European Union. We received money for budgeting, but we cannot use it for defense sphere, only for civilian branches, and military infrastructure must be funded from Ukraine's taxes. And because of it, this reestablishing gave us opportunity to strengthen forces, to pay a new type of ammunition which is produced by Ukraine's company, and to buy ammunition from our partners from abroad, because we know that we we have border with the Russia Federation 2,400 kilometers. And it's about 1,500 miles. And we have border with Belarus 1,100 kilometers, and it's about 700 miles border. And all this border must be held by Ukrainian forces, and Ukrainian forces are holding it just to have opportunity to attack, to drive Russia's troops from occupied territory, but another part of border we must hold by military forces, and because of it we ask a lot of additional military ammunition and military vehicles and artillery and drones and for example long-range missiles. You asked me about it, and I know that Storm Shadow missiles, it's more powerful and more effective long-range missiles, which would allow Ukraine forces to eliminate military infrastructure Russia's forces, because you know that since 2014, Russians occupied peninsula. They were funding there, and they were building fortifications 8 years, and it means that they are really serious storages. They are holding the cruise missiles and threatening of that. And I know that this type of missile will help us, and we will eliminate the storage, and we'll try to avoid this threat from Crimea Peninsula.
Yeah, I want to ask this question. Now you mentioned Crimea. Is the Russia-occupied territory of Crimea is now is the Ukraine now launching an offensive attack and trying to recapture that territory?
Ukraine they Russians made from Crimea. They built biggest military base. There are a lot of military munitions facilities, soldiers, fleet, and etc. And they are threatening Ukraine's territory. And you know that Ukraine's forces managed to explode bridge between Russia Federation and Crimea. And this bridge two time was undermined by Ukraine's drones, and one time it was Secret Service operation. They exploded a big truck, and they managed to eliminate it partly, but haven't eliminated fully. And now it's main route Russia's trading oil and their grains, because they demonstrated that they are ready to provide all countries around the world by grain, but they are interested in rising prices. And they are making money at it, and they are blackmailing countries whose limited resources for food. And it's only way. Last year, after Ukraine's managed to establish grain deal route, prices for grain around the world became lower for quarter, for 25%. And now I'd say that they're interested in rising tensions, and they are interested in making money. But threat from Ukraine's forces doesn't allow them to make money at the poor countries and to threat people around the world by famine. And to be honest, I'm sure that they will act to answer, because after every operations, Ukraine's forces, they tries to shell city, to shell capital of Ukraine, to shell bordering cities, just to kill civilians, because we know that they are limited in this resources in aircraft. From aircraft, they are launching so-called flying bombs. These bombs has weight from half ton to 1.5 ton. And for example, my friend who's serving his service at the Baltic line commented that just in front of them was settlements, and 3 this type of bombs fully eliminated settlements. And it looks like big hole, and they continue threatening. And because of it, for example, Ukraine forces hope that when we have Western fighter jets, which has long-range anti-aircraft missiles, it would allow us to prevent them bombing this territory, to eliminate Ukraine's forces fortifications, and it will allow us to continue further. But now Ukraine forces have managed in the places where territory allows to move ahead. Ukraine's forces have break through 3 Russia's defense line. and now they are operating there, and they are threatening military forces, and distance to seashore is about 75-80 kilometers. It's a direction which would allow Ukraine forces to cut Russia's Federation military forces for two parts, and but now we know that there are a lot of challenges, because when Ukraine forces tries to storm Russia's troops, it appeared that they mined it really tough. And for long distance, they, you remember, last year they were preparing to storm Ukraine troops in fifth places, and now they are mining all territory in front of their trenches just to avoid Ukraine storms. They are frightened, and they are waiting Ukraine storm troops, but we cannot risk soldiers' lives, and our commanders in chief are in cooperation with our partners. For example, 19th of September took place 15 Ramstein meeting, and there were agreed additional providing Ukraine's forces military ammunition, military vehicles, rounds, etc. But it's last a long time. And because of it, Ukraine forces are interested in it just now, because they are fighting just now.
Is the consistency and support by European nations still working well in favor for Ukraine?
To be honest, the number of countries Ramstein is 54. It's 54 countries who joined to this meeting, and 50 of them confirmed additional obligations concerning providing Ukraine's forces. And we have new defense minister, and the new defense minister's first meeting with his colleagues in Ramstein took place 19th of September, and he thanked Mark Milley, who's informed that he's resign, and he have done a lot for Ukraine's forces, for Ukraine, and personally I thank him personally for all he has done for Ukraine, because it's really big fortune in our future, in the world future, and it allowed us to change situation at the battle line. And all these countries confirmed that they are ready to cooperate and to fulfill their obligations. And I'd say that Ukraine has different point of view for economical strategy. For example, Ukraine, when Ukraine was blocked by Russia's troops, Ukraine's business company tried to export Ukraine's grain through European countries, but there was took place some problems with selling grain in Poland, and Poland are not interested in it, and because of it appeared a small conflict because of it, and it's happened just on the eve of election campaign in Poland, and now I think it was provoked and was spreaded by Russia's media, which are interested in any conflicts in Europe and which took place with Ukraine. But now I think that this conflict has solved, because Ukraine officials proposed license for exports to this side, because, for example, it only a couple of percent Ukraine's export volume. Couple percent cannot influence for our relation with our partners, and we know that maybe. If we have time, we would discuss with them to build new routes, because it's in European countries' interest, because it's good routes which is profitable and which would allow European country to be players at the world grain markets. But now we hope that Ukraine forces will manage to establish and to defend these forces. And thanks President of United States, Joseph Biden, who confirmed that according to his opinion, soon these routes will work more effectively. I think he knows something more.
Yeah, one more question I want to ask you, Vasil. With the European nations' commitment and United States of America, and now given the fact that Joe Biden is issuing long-range missiles, Russia is in a very terrible position as far as I can see. What do you think Putin may be thinking at this point in time? Like, should I call this quits? Should I give up? Or do you think he's going to continue to fight this war?
I don't think that it will influence for his opinion, because I don't think that he's a person who's in real conscience, and we don't know what he can thinks, and we don't know how he will react, because they have no opportunities to fight more effectively. And I saw the information that now Russia's made domestic decision concerning prohibition for oil export, because they wanted to sell a lot of oil, but it appeared Russia doesn't have petrol at their domestic petrol stations, and they are working effectively only using blackmailing, which would allow them to raise prices for natural materials resources, and all these resources they are sending to military sphere, and they have made new friends, or they remember about their old friends. It's North Korea and Iran. It's good union for moving to the future and to higher technologies, and I think that they will try to demonstrate that they have opportunity to storm, but after to be honest, I'd like to say that their domestic reality is something different. For example, they are working for domestic reality, which is created their so-called media, because all Russia's media, it's propaganda. For example, after Ukraine's forces eliminated the Black Sea headquarters, they commented they managed to defeat all missiles which were flying to these targets, and I think that they managed to intercept these missiles by headquarters. And all news in Russia Federation are similar, because they are making news for Russians, and they are living in propaganda, and they are not interested in real news, because for example, they have many National Guard, police, which are following and punishing people who has independent point of view. And because of it, if we hear any independent opinions from Russians, it's from Russians who's living abroad. And because of it, I think that all countries who haven't joined to Ramstein meeting must understand that it's a key point for world, because we know that Russia Federation cannot act personally. Russia Federation is supported by China, and
Yes.
we see that China has become more aggressive, and they have made a lot of dangerous events together with the Russia Federation. They wanted to demonstrate it, and and as a result, they have faced with a challenge. For example, China exists because of United States open world economic policy, but
Yes.
this policy, they become big country.
Yes.
And now they are threatening developed countries and demonstrating their aggressive point. So,
Well, thank you so much, Vasil, for this information. We reached the last couple of minutes in the show. And be sure we'll talk again. And to all those who will be tuning in, I want to say to you, have a nice day.